Hey guys, welcome to day 2. I'm so excited to be doing this with you guys through the rest of the week. I have loved reading about your love languages. It's been so much fun to read about all the different couples out there and what you guys value as your love languages. So we're going to keep talking about those. We're not going to talk about them today, but we're going to talk about those in our homework throughout the rest of the 9 days. It's going to be targeting different love languages because I know all love languages are represented here. Okay. Today we're going to talk about this. We are going to talk about focusing on the good. And when you focus on the good and the positive, that illuminates. Okay. How many times, I want you guys to think about this. How many times have you been in groups of women and it becomes sort of like a bitch fest about the husband? He doesn't do this. He doesn't help with the kids here. He doesn't help with the cooking there. It's like rant, 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 rant. And it's really hard when you're around that to not get sucked into it. It really is contagious to get sucked into that, okay? And listen, I'm sure that we all have gotten sucked into those conversations. I know I have, and you find yourself saying out loud what you don't like about your husband, whether he leaves his shoes in the wrong place, or whether you don't like your mother-in-law, or whether you have a disagreement about religion, or whether you don't feel like he's helping out enough with the kids, or whether you're upset because you want him to go find a new job. Whatever it is, it's like it breeds, right? You spend time focusing on the negative and it breeds negativity, and that's not what we want to be focusing on. What we want to be focusing on is finding and talking about and paying attention to what is good and what you love about your marriage and about the spouse that you're married to. It's the same thing with child rearing, and many of us on this boot camp have kids, right? If you have multiple children and you see one child doing something that's a good choice and one child who's not doing a good choice, what should we be doing? We should be focusing on little Johnny over here. We're like, wow, you're making a really good choice doing this. Hey, so-and-so, do you see what good choices your brother is making? Not saying that we're going to be comparing children, not saying that we're comparing husbands, but when we focus on the good, good breeds good, okay? And when we focus on what we love in our marriages and what we love about our spouses, that will illuminate and it gets you away from the rant, 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 rant. So I want you to be aware of how much of that rant, 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 rant happens, because it happens everywhere, daily. I'm sure you all hear it daily. I hear it daily all the time. That is not honoring our husbands. It doesn't mean that we have to be happy with them all the time. It doesn't mean that with a close friend you can confide in the fact that something is really bothering you about your husband. How should you handle it? That's a different story than sitting around rant, 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 complaining about it and not doing anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the good, the good, the good. Because when your husband hears the rant, 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 and you're like this to him, or you're like this to him, what happens with that? He shuts down. And when he shuts down, then he's like, not engaging and not giving you the things that you need. So if you're focusing on the positive, if you're focusing on the good, that is going to illuminate in your marriage. So that's what I want the focus to be today. I've got a little bit of homework attached at the bottom. Go ahead and comment below, and I will see you tomorrow for day 3. Bye, guys.